Good afternoon, students, teachers, and HYDRA members. I'm Ruveda, second year student of from St. Anne's College for Women. Welcome to the featured Talks on Books. This event is being conducted by the Department of English of St. Anne's College for Women and Hyderabad Readers and Writers Club. Joining us is Ms. Sunita David, Head of English Department, Ms. K. Sarita, Ms. Rashmi, Ms. E. Devati, Dr. E. Kanaka, Ms. T. Srivani, Dr. Pratyusha. Welcome, professors, and thank you for joining us. From Hydra Club, we have Lavanya Nukavarapu, Muralidharan Parthasathy, and Swapnil Saurabh. They will be your judges for this event, evaluating and giving valuable feedback. So good luck to all the participants. Now I would like to invite the Hydra members to talk a few words on the club and about themselves. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Ruwaida, for the warm welcome. Thank you, St. Anne's College, for inviting us. We have been in St. Anne's College last year as well, and we conducted a small session. And it's really a pleasure to be back again. But because of COVID, we couldn't do it offline, so we have to do it online. But yes, it's just a pleasure. A few words about Hydro Club. Hydro was founded by Mehboob Hussain in 2018. The book is at the Center for Mission. So all of you must have heard about a lot of book clubs and all that. But most of the book clubs are either for writers or for readers. But Hydro, it stands for Hyderabad Readers and Writers Group, is unique in a way that we have both writers and readers. So we are like a bridge connecting the readers and writers. One of the agenda that we have on Hydra is to promote literature and inculcate this habit of reading and writing among not only students, I would say, among all age groups if possible. So kind of striving on that, and thanks to St. Anne's College for helping us out in this. That was like brief. Today, but before I speak further, I just wanted to say that today, unfortunately, our founder member, Mehboob Hussain, is not with us. He could not join us today, but then the show must carry on, and so we are here. So, so let's get started. And a brief introduction about myself. So, where I just announced my name as well, Lavanya Nukuvalpu. So, by profession, I am a finance professional. I have done my CW and CPA, and I have written a few books. I like poetry. My first book was Bare Thoughts, and the second book is Captive. I'm working on third book this year. And I've also been a member of a lot of online forums and offline forums on books, literature, and writing. So I look forward to hear all of your participants and discuss about literature, books, and reading and writing. So over to you, Muralidharan sir, for a quick introduction.
Good afternoon to everyone. And nice meeting, particularly the youth who are going to participate. HYDRA, as Lavanya has already explained, and my association with HYDRA is for the past 1 year. I joined them in their second anthology, and of course that is to be released, that is in hard copy. And after that we have become, I got acquainted with their monthly programs of sharing our reviews of books we have read, and it has been very useful for me. And in the groups also, our chat is very high value to share our experiences. And I find a very good community in HYDRA, and I wish the so far as I am concerned, I have taken voluntary retirement from a public sector undertaking, and I was a finance DGM Finance in PSU, and I have been writing in Tamil for a very long time, 2 decades, and for the past 3 years, I have taken into translation from both ways, Tamil to English and English to Tamil, and the worthiest thing I translated was Shashi Tharoor's Why I Am a Hindu from English to Tamil, and then I have been contributing in English also. Now I have about to in English, my almost a dozen stories have come in anthologies and web magazines, and my next publication will be a novel shortly. I'm in advanced stages with the publishers, and I wish the participants all the best and nice meeting all of you. Bye.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So myself and Muralidharan sir will be the judges. But we also have Swapnil sir. Swapnil, can you speak a few words? And I think a lot of you people know Swapnil already. He's our grand quiz master. Yeah, so I think we can start with the presentations, Ruwaida.
So shall we start with Mrudula as the first participant?
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Mrudula. I'm a student of statistics in St. Anne's College. I'm studying in first year. I hope this is it.
Yes, Mrudula, you're visible and your audio is also audible.
So, I'm going to speak today about manuscripts found in Accra written by Paulo Coelho. The genre of this book is philosophy fiction. I'm a very big philosophy lover, and I read a lot of articles about spirituality, and I read a lot of articles about uh, uh, I read a lot of comics, and I brought this book on Amazon.in in order to distract myself from social media, and this book has really helped me to understand the deeper aspects of life. I'll start my presentation by showing you the summary of this book. Hello.
Mrudula, can you click on the button present now and share your screen for your presentation?
Yes, I'm doing that.
Okay. Yes, Mrudula, we can see the presentation now.
So, this book, the manuscript found in Accra, is narrated by a 21-year-old man, uh, which begins by saying that this manuscript was found in 1974 in Accra, the present capital of Ghana, and the manuscript was written in Arabic, Hebrew, and Latin, which describes the meeting between the people of Jerusalem and a Greek man known as Copt, uh, who believes only in the present moment, what he calls as Moira, the divine energy, which, if ever broken, will bring about the end of the world. This was the time when the Jews, the Christians, and the Muslims were living together in harmony and were anticipating an attack from the French soldiers who called themselves as the Crusaders. Knowing the strength of the French army, some people in Jerusalem decide to live and some decide to stay and fight the war. During this course, the Greek man Copt uh, calls the people to ask him questions and write them down so that the humanity will know how people in Jerusalem lived, hoping that Jerusalem will be rebuilt one day after the war. So he asked the people to write what he says and set off for four corners of the world, and those who do not know how to write can remember his words. And during this course, the Copt answers the questions of the people to bring hope and confidence in their lives, because they are going to be affected by the devastating war. And he takes questions from people who are from everyone: men, women, teenagers, children, married, unmarried, rich, and poor. He takes questions answering about solitude, love, miracles, future, family, sex, relationships, etc. He answers questions like, "Sir, are you talking something?"
Sorry, Madhura, the question was to whom?
Sir, I hear him speaking. I think.
Oh, okay. I don't think he has any questions. I think you continue, please.
Okay. So during that session, he answers questions. Questions about solitude from a young woman who was about to get married to the son of a rich man, and another question from a woman who was getting on years but never found a husband, saying that love has always passed me by, and another question from a man who feels why some people are luckier than others, and another question from an old man who thinks that he can't go back in time and recover the lost moments. This is a novel written by Paulo Coelho. He puts his efforts to grab the reader's attention to his simple yet uh, captivating sentences. Overall, it's a spiritually lifting and thought-provoking book. It often makes the reader feel that these are the words one has to live by. Now, let me show you. What I like about this book is that this book is extremely relatable, uh, and it's a quick read, and yet it has a very profound impact on the reader for a very long time. Uh, and it's the powerful messages written in this book uh, will often stay with us. And coming to my favorite parts about this book, in the beginning of this, a young man called Yaqub asked, "Sir,
Rohida, I think your microphone is on. Can you just mute it for a few minutes until Rudula finishes her presentation? Thank you. Rudula, go ahead, please.
yeah." So my favorite parts in this book, in the beginning, a young man called Yaqub asked the cop to speak about defeat. He says that he answers his question by asking him that does a leaf when it falls from a tree in winter feel defeated by the cold? And he continues answering, saying that uh, in the cycle of nature, there are no winners or losers, but only movement. And there are only stages that one must go through to understand what is life. And when the heart understands this, uh, it can, it is able to accept the moments of defeat and not be deceived by moments of glory. Uh, I have pondered over this point because this is the same philosophy which I uh, carry within myself during difficult times. And it, Paulo Coelho has put this philosophy as it is and in a very uh, peaceful manner. He answers another question from another man who asks him to speak about the defeated ones. He says that only the defeated ones know what is love because it is the realm of love that we generally fight our first battles and lose. And he talks about solitude, saying that solitude is not the absence of company, but it is a time when our soul is free to speak to us about what to do in this lifetime. And if we are never alone, we never understand ourselves. And if we do not know about ourselves, we begin to fear the void. He raises important points pertaining to the human fear of losing his near and dear when he goes in search of his dreams. Will it harm them, or will I hurt them by uh, doing what I like to do by going against their wishes? Then we make a few changes here and there just to make ourselves comfortable and uh, to say proudly that we haven't changed a lot in these years. And he talks about beauty, saying that beauty lies in difference but not in the sameness. Uh, in some parts, the author has overemphasized the answer a bit too much that it becomes too philosophical, and in some points, the ideas are a bit myopic. What I feel, he speaks about love and uh, romance in a certain way that I feel some ideas are myopic and are not adding up. And another thing is that and another thing is that this is the same philosophy of Paulo Coelho put in different words, and some aspects of this book are taken from the Prophet by Khalil Gibran, and in some places, as I've told, ideas about love are obdurate, and I have brought this book on Amazon along with a book called Metamorphosis written by Franz Kafka. And as I have read The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, I felt really inspired by that book, and I had a lot of expectations on manuscript found in Accra. Nevertheless, uh, this book is really uplifting and eye-opening. Uh, and in this book, Paulo Coelho talks about various themes, uh, and and it it brings bliss to the reader. Uh, I have always pondered about many points written in this book, and this book has made me look again inwards, just like The Alchemist written by Paulo Coelho. So that is all what I have to say today. And I thank St. Anne's College and HYDRA for giving me this opportunity to speak about manuscript found in Accra. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you, Mridula. That was a very good presentation, I must say. Few things that I liked about your presentation was you gave examples. You took some of the instances uh, from the book and you built on it.
Yeah.
You gave, like you said about Yaqub and the love and all that. Very nicely done. And you also mentioned what you liked, what you disliked. But I found a little bit controversy in your likes and dislikes, because at one point of time you said that the book is very eye-opening and all that, but some of the ideas in the book is obdurate.
Yeah.
Would not actually get what you were trying to tell, because at one point of time, if you're saying it's uplifting, then I'm finding it a little confusing to understand why it would be obdurate as well, or myopic. So can you just
Because,
explain a little bit on that?
yes. When he talks about love, he says that love should be one-sided. We should not expect anything in return. But what
Okay.
I think that it should be two-sided, and it should be 50-50. That was what I feel, what I felt. So, and some ideas about the physical union were also a bit controversial in that book. I felt so.
Okay, got it. All right. Yeah, I guess yes, it was excellent. Good. Your flow was good and all. But what I also saw that you're repeating a lot of things. See, when you're presenting, you have given one example over. So, like after 5-10 minutes, you are going back to the same example, or like you are repeating the same thing. So, try to avoid repetition, so that because the reader has already heard about it. So, try to bring in another example and sequence. What I thought was the sequence was kind of shaky. It was like all scattered over. It was, you could have done better with the sequencing of the incidents, of the examples, and of the entire book.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's very good, very nice. Your speech was also very slow, calculated. I could get absorb every word of what you were talking. So well done, Mridula. Very well
Thank
done.
you.
Sir, Muralidharan sir, would you like to encourage Mridula? Sorry.
Mridula, I'll certainly, since Lavanya has told, generally the contests are held only to bring out the talent. It is not for discouraging anyone actually. It is positive, it's never negative and all that. Okay, I actually, I have, if I have to judge, not exactly being judgmental and all that, but if I have to assess the presentation and the review, so let's take it as a review, review of a book. And in that review of a book, compared to supposing you are given a formal mic and you are on a stage, there is an audience, and then you are not having all these facilities. Today you are having the facilities like giving a presentation, and then you are not having the stage fear because there is nobody. Most of us are muted, even the video also. Then why, Mridula? Why not more confident? Okay, I have segregated the way I have to look at you in 4 parts. One is choice of book. Second is your review. Third is your expression. Fourth is the presentation. By the presentation, I means the PPT stuff, the stuff available in the PPT. So you can yourself guess. And for the choice of book, I am giving you full marks because Paulo Coelho is not an author for your age group. That doesn't mean that I am discouraging you. I am very appreciating you very much. You have chosen a very serious author on a very serious content. I certainly appreciate it. But in your review, are you unmuted, Mridula?
No, sir, I'm listening.
You can reply to me. See, in your review, I am asking you a question. Do you read that is mainstream books? That is books, thriller books, or this romance-based books, thriller books, social issues books. You read them, fictions.
I generally
You
read
read only serious.
mostly philosophical and fiction.
Okay, then leave it. But what I would tell you is, supposing you are talking to me and I am always reading pulp, but I am fortunate to hear your review. So in that case, you can differentiate a little bit between a serious content like this and the mainstream content, which is pulp, which is full of romantic things, romanticizing something, and celebrating or hyping things which are otherwise nothing, very, very materialistic. Okay, fine. So review part, I am closing it here. Okay, fine. You could have compared and contrasted, but you were nearing to the main content of the book. I could appreciate because you were able to nearly do it. But what about the expression, Mridula? That is what I told you. You can talk far more confidently. You can even keep a paper even on stage. There is a stage and you are behind a mic, but you can keep a small slip with you. And you could have done a small kind of, rehearsal. The rehearsal means not a very serious rehearsal. You could have coherently what are the points you would highlight like that. Or you would have written it down. Even you need not rehearse orally. Okay. Then the presentation part. But presentation part, I tell you, presentation, it appears, in my view, your teachers are, far more experienced than me. Because I am not into teaching line, but as a person, as a reader, I would tell you, what I found in your presentation is the kind of notes you have taken. But there is a lot of space in the presentation. There is no restriction of words or and all that. So you could have given something I will gain from. But anyway, I'm very happy that you have introduced us to a very worthy book. Thank you. I mute myself here.
Thank you, sir.
I think when the Rudra has set the stage, we can go with the next participant, or unless if the staff, Saint and staff wants to say anything or.
I really loved Mridula's presentation because I could see that she had enjoyed what she read, and she was able to give quotes, and I think, that's a sign of a budding, serious reader. Yes, it was a very mature work that she has taken, philosophy, and Paulo Coelho, and what's the name again of the thing? Document found in Accra. Yeah? Manuscript found in Accra. So that's a blend of both the exotic and the everyday. I loved it. I mean, it's really encouraging to see young people picking up serious books. Though I'm sure you got really serious inputs from Parthasarthi sir and Lavanya for you to develop what you have started on. A very good start, Mridula, and
you.
wishing you all the best ahead. Okay. Thank you, Lavanya. Over to you.
Yeah. Thanks, ma'am. Yeah. All the best, Mudula. Actually, even I was a little bored of seeing Paulo Coelho in the first instance. But yes, very serious read. All the best to you. Yes.
Thank you.
So Ruwaida has left the meeting. I guess she's having some technical problems. So who wants to go next? Girls. Pin drop silence. No one wants to go.
We have Alekia and Sayyida Aisha.
Okay. So
Who wants to start first? Because Ruwaida is having some
technical
problem, I think, technical problem. Will Alekia start next? Is Alekia here? Alekia?
Yes, ma'am. I'll start. So, hello all. My name is Alekhya, and I'm a student at St. Anne's from the Department of Biotechnology. The book I chose today is John Green's Looking for Alaska. This was one of my very first books that I read in this genre of young adult fiction. So, yeah, I'll start my presentation. Is it visible?
Yes, yes, yes.
So yeah, my book is the book I chose is Looking for Alaska, and the basic summary of the book is it's about two young people and how they go about learning more in life. The main character, Miles Halter, is a very friendless, and he was a very introverted person, so he got tired of his predictable and friendless life. So he decides to attend a boarding school in Alabama for his junior year of high school. This guy, um, he was very interested in knowing the last words of famous people. He was inspired by the last words of an author, Rabelais. The words go as, "I go to seek a great perhaps," and he decides to have a new beginning and tells his parents that he is going to seek a great perhaps, that there's something more for him. So he plans on starting new in a new place. This book had many themes, and it was very interesting for me because it was kind of relatable, being a teenager and starting a new journey in my life as well. So my favorite parts would be the book explaining the importance of friendship and the relationships he had with his friends, and how he got to know new people in a new place. So once he joined his new place, he makes a circle of friends, the first one being his roommate, who people call the colonel, and then another person, Takumi, and Lara, and the next main character, Alaska. He falls in love with the reckless and quirky character of Alaska. So she introduces him to many more new last words, and he starts a new life in a new place. The other part that I liked in this book would be the main character's love for famous last words. The way the book goes on and how John Green depicted each scene regarding author's last words was very interesting. And this book also had many beautiful sentences. Some of my favorites are, "We need never be hopeless because we can never be irreparably broken." I mean, that was kind of relatable because we lose hope so many times in life, and all these small sentences felt like we could learn so much from them, and it was just small quotes and lines such as this that I felt like they were very relatable. The other one was where he describes Alaska and he goes saying, "So I walked back to my room and collapsed on the bottom bunk, thinking that if people were rain, I was drizzle and she was a hurricane." Here, Miles is defining the difference between Alaska and himself, whereas Alaska is intense and unpredictable as the hurricane, and Miles has a very introverted personality, so he described himself as a drizzle. And the way the author described characters, all the main characters, his friends, and all of them like this was very interesting for me. The story is split into two parts, the before and after. Unfortunately, in the story, Alaska passes away, so it's before Alaska died and how Miles got to know people, and after it was how he coped up to learning that Alaska is dead. And yeah, so the dislikes that I had in this book was definitely one being the main character perishing. It was very heartbreaking after being so relatable to the book. I felt very sad actually, but well, she was Alaska's character is actually revolved a lot around the topic death. Her mom passed away at a very young age. She was close to her mom. So they show her as this character where she tries to cope up to life's hardships and brings out her quirky self to show people. She tries to, you know, stop people from seeing the sadness inside her, rather to show people the more happy and joyful self of Alaska. That is what I felt. I think the main among all the classes that Alaska and Miles had together, the book revolved around a small sentence that Alaska said in one of their religion classes. She said the line about a labyrinth and about how will I get out of this labyrinth. It was a line up from a South American liberator Simon Bolivar. So it's a question that makes one take a deeper, more poignant resonance when an unthinkable tragedy happens. She feels like, is the labyrinth when the person in the book dies, is the labyrinth the beginning or is it the end of life or is it the beginning for death? She tries to find out the meaning. And Miles also had this question from the beginning of the book, like, what exactly is a labyrinth? And the book at the end of the book, he actually, when Alaska passes away, he gets to know that she died because she was in a car accident, and people thought she didn't press the brake, so people were wondering whether it was a suicide or accident. So Miles tries to find out more because he felt as if a part of him was gone. He wanted to know more. Why would Alaska do that? He is a person who is interested in knowing the last famous words of people, and someone so close to him, he couldn't know the last words of Alaska, so he was very um depressed and started to know. Then he got to know that she actually passed away because she was sad that she couldn't remember it was her mother's death anniversary. The another thing that I didn't like about this book was John Green didn't exactly give a correct ending, whether Alaska died because of the accident and she forgot to press the brakes, or was it actually a suicide, because he clearly says that she sees a police car coming in front of her. That was one thing I was stuck on for a lot of days. And of course, not seeing Miles and Alaska together at the end was definitely a bit unsettling, because going on through the journey of the book, I felt like they'll be good together, and I can see their characters mixing to one. Impact on me, even though there were parts in the book that seemed incomplete, of course there were like many pranks that these guys played on the richer group, and also there were parts where John Green didn't exactly give a correct ending, and he made the twists where I was very anxious and I started imagining the oncoming events. So when I was reading this book, I was really into it. And the other one was, as I told you, The Labyrinth of Life. It really, that sentence, I was so attached to it that I read about whole what is the labyrinth and all. I mean, it it is very relatable. We can actually see that he understood how to move on, how to do this. So one has to find their own way out in life. Uh, yeah. Thank you. Abrupt ending.
Okay. Okay, Alekhya, it was nice. So, what made you
Yes,
choose this
ma'am.
book? Yeah, no, I'm just like wondering. Okay, Mridula said she likes spiritual and philosophical. That's why she chose that book. But what made
Uh,
you to choose this book?
so as I was growing up, my dad's a teacher, so he bought me into books and all. I grew up reading lot of Enid Blyton books and all. So once I got into college, I had a taste to actually start reading something adultish. So young adult fiction, and Fault in Our Stars were very famous those days. So I thought I'll go into John Green's books, and this was the very first book that I read, and I fell in love with the author and the way he actually wrote. I think that is why I started reading his books, to get a feeling of a new genre. Like Enid Blyton's books were all about school life, and I felt like I should shift to a new genre and start widening my perspective. So I'm still in the process though.
Okay, I'm sure that you'll find much more interesting authors. And yes, but John Green is one of the very good authors that we have.
Yeah.
Some of the quotes that you gave in the presentation was actually very beautiful.
Yeah.
Seriously. So, see, this kind of narrative style of writing is more like creative writing.
Yeah.
This is something that people, it's like poetry, it's lyrical. So they use the strong words and then we kind of get lost in those words. So book itself is a labyrinth.
True. So true.
So when you said, I was kind of totally into that word myself too. Very well presented, actually. Uh,
Thank you, ma'am.
I mean, you also presented the book in a very creative style, like taking up a few things, and then you stressed on the strong point of the book. I could make out that the writing is absolutely beautiful. That was one of the things that kind of left an impact on you. So that was good. Uh, your speech was good, very calm. I think in the starting you were a little bit shaky, but
Yeah,
later
I was
started
actually
coming.
very nervous. I was trying to calm myself down, but then I got into it, and yeah, I was
Yes,
very nervous
yes.
at the beginning.
But I could see that later on you picked it up and you came, you spoke with great vigor and also, yes. So kudos to you. Brave
Thank
girl.
you.
But a few things. This is a review of a book, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So when we do review a book or any literature piece, number one, a dislike cannot be a character passing away.
Okay.
Because, sir, correct me if I am wrong, because that's the story of the book. Whether you like the character passing away or not, it cannot be a dislike. A dislike can be probably the way the author did not narrate the passing away of the book. Like you said, that John Green did not do a, I mean, like he could not explain it clearly whether the girl died, because, whether it was a suicide or it was just an accident. Yes, that could be a dislike, but not that a character just passed away. It cannot. I think, in my view, it cannot be a dislike.
Yes, ma'am.
So I think you should have removed that line and you should have put the line saying that the ending was not clear or the author did not make sufficient, attempt to ensure that the reader understands the ending, something like that. Okay. So other than that, I think yes, yes. Other than that, yeah. So just be careful when you are talking about dislikes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I'll
Next
make a
time,
point of that.
I yeah. I hope you got my point.
I
Right.
did.
Yes, and one of the common thing that I'm finding is since it's a book, you also have to mention about the writing style or how lucid, how descriptive the writing was. Like one time you mentioned that the author did not, mention properly the pranks. Like you were imagining, like he set you on that imagination path, but then he could not kind of uh, take you there, right?
Yeah.
So yes, those kind of things should come out as well when you're kind of reviewing a book, because the book is all about writing, right? So if you're not talking about the writing style, about the narrative style, then I think you're not doing a proper justice to the review or to the author, right? So,
Okay.
but yes, very well done for your age. Very
Thank you.
nicely done, I would say. Very strong. After Budula, yes, yours also was very good. A different take, a different kind of genre, but yes, I liked it. Thank you so much, Alekia.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sir, yes. Over to you.
Okay. 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 Actually, at the outset, I have to ask you a question. Were
Yes, sir.
you aware that you can give a presentation? Presentation in the sense that PPT also, PowerPoint. You were
Yes,
it.
sir.
You were aware.
To present a PowerPoint?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
But you didn't. Why?
I didn't get the question.
No, actually, at least for me, the PowerPoint was not visible. Did you give a PowerPoint like
Yes,
Mridula
sir.
did?
I did. I
Oh,
shared
yeah.
the screen and
Oh, somehow it was missing for me. I don't know why. Okay, it's
okay,
okay. Oh,
okay, sir.
okay. Then in that case, I stand corrected. Okay. Fine. Actually, okay, I will start from where Lavanya left so that the continuity is there. See, it is sometimes very intriguing, when we don't understand the end, or there are two things. I don't understand the end. The other thing is that I don't accept the end. Both are possible. But if the author has given some leads earlier and then he has left for you to guess, that is one way of writing. That is leaving you to guess, making you do some work. And there is another step forward, making you creatively think that either way it is possible. There is something third, even advanced. Something major was irrelevant. Let us take a story where a poor man dies finally out of hunger. Actually, his end is irrelevant. His suffering is more relevant. Because not only he is suffering, there are so many people suffering like him. Supposing a story is ended like that. So these kind of creative readings we can do. Of course, but this book, the book actually it is for youth. I think that's why it's so relatable for you. And a lot of new experiences of a youth in an educational institution and outside. Right?
Yes, sir.
Good.
Yes, sir.
And I didn't see the presentation and I was hearing only your voice. And you can certainly become a RJ. You've got a lot of scope. Your way of, your expression and your language and your flow, I simply was carried.
Thank
Fantastic.
you, sir. It
You are
means a
doing
lot.
very well. Actually, you got a very good oratorical skill. I don't know whether you have stage fear or not. If you don't have stage fear, you are going to be a great orator. Because the flow is coming, you are not reading out, you are having you are giving an extempore speech or review. You are doing it very well, and we are able to relate to most of the things you are giving. But as I think Lavanya also touched upon it, you can always give an example of the stories I could have read or I could have related earlier, and then where it stands out or it is not up to them. It's not the kind of genre I am thinking of, where it's
Okay.
different. If whether it stands out or not, it's different, it's unique, something like that. Anyway, for a kind of actually the Paulo Coelho and that philosophy were very heavy choices. That one you have chosen is very lighter, but your review has carried it very well. Well done.
Thank you,
I
sir.
appreciate the way you presented it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
So you have got a appreciation message from Sunita David ma'am also. So,
Yes, thank
so,
you, ma'am.
so I think, yeah, well done. I think we can
Okay,
move
ma'am.
forward. Yes. All the best, Alekhya.
Thank you, ma'am.
Can we call the next participant to participate? To present, Sayeda Aisha. Yes. Can't hear
Right.
you, Aisha. Sayeda, we can't hear you.
Okay, I'm not audible.
Now you are.
Now you are audible. Now you are audible.
Okay, there's actually a little problem with my microphone. Good afternoon. I hope you all are doing good, staying safe and healthy and hygienic at home.
Yes, yes. We are trying to
Yes,
stay
yes,
healthy
yes.
and hygienic. Yeah.
Okay, my name is Seda Aisha, and I am a student from St. Anne's College, and I'm pursuing NCB, that is nutrition. And I'm not really an efficient speaker. I'm sorry, I mean an efficient reader. I read books, which it's not like I have a specific genre. I just go ahead with books having catchy titles and all. So the book that I chose is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. I read this book for the first time a long time ago. It was almost 3 years ago, and then I read it once again. That was recently. I chose this book because it has a very deep meaning, and the way the author has portrayed the meaning, it's very simple. Anyone can read it and understand it. So I'll just go ahead with the presentation. Are you able to see it, ma'am and sir?
No, no, we
No,
can't.
yeah, we can't.
Just a second, ma'am.
Not yet. I'm looking for it.
Sarah, there's a button present now. Yes. Okay.
Wait
Yes,
a
now we
second.
can. It we were about to see
Yeah,
this.
and then it went off.
Okay, okay.
Yes, yes. Yes, yes, we can.
We are able to see summary, the alchemist, something like that. You continue.
Okay, so as you are already familiar with the um, writer, the author is very famous, and we had Mrudula speak about him earlier, and we see that he has a lot of fan following across the world. So first of all, I'd speak about the summary. The story, The Alchemist, is about a boy. He's a shepherd, and he lives in Andalusia, and he's a shepherd with a normal life, and he has a dream. He sleeps in a church. It's a very old church, and he has a dream that there's a boy who was playing with his sheep. He doesn't usually like people playing with his sheep, but then he saw that the boy was really enjoying playing with the sheep, and then the boy held Santiago is the name of the main character. The little boy in his dream held his hand, and he transported him to the pyramids of Egypt. And what he saw there was he found treasure. So what he wanted to discover, like he wanted to know what is it. So he went to one of the fortune teller in his town. She's a gypsy fortune teller, and she predicted his dream, and she told that it's a prophetic dream. I think you should go ahead with the dream and follow it. But then the boy was worried because he did not have sufficient amount of money, of course, to travel so far away, as he lives in Andalusia, that is in Spain, and Egypt is very far away. So then he works, and he actually goes to a king, and he sells his sheep, and he gets a lot of money to travel to Andalusia. While on his way, he has a stay in Africa. So during his stay in Africa, he meets this person who tells him that he can help him to travel to Egypt. But what actually happens is that he gets robbed during the travel, and the boy is left with no money. He does not even have his sheep, so he's very worried. But then he works with a merchant, an old crystal merchant, and it almost takes him an year to have the amount of money to go back to his home, or either he can continue his journey towards his dream. So he's really stuck at this point to decide whether he should just leave, forget about his dream. Even though it's been a year, it's still bugging him. So he's really stuck at this point whether he should continue to travel towards Egypt or just go back home to his normal life. But then he thought that no, if I met a king, I traveled to Africa, I had this dream twice, then this must have a purpose. So what he does is he travels towards Egypt, and during his travel, he meets this Englishman. So this guy is he's in search of the alchemist. The alchemist is a person. It's known as he's been living for 200 years, and he knows the universal language. Universal language is something which has no words. It's basically the language of the universe and the world, how everything communicates. It's a language of soul. So that's what the book says about universal language, according to the book. So he's in the search of the alchemist, and the alchemist knows the universal language. He knows the elixir of life, and so he's in search of that. So during this journey, the boy has a lot of interaction with the Englishman, and the Englishman has a lot of knowledge. And I really like how they have the interaction, and everything is very interesting. But then what happens is during their stay at an oasis, this Santiago comes across a girl named Fatima, and he falls in love with her. So this is the part, the story is all about how we are heading towards pursuing our dream, but it's not easy. There are a lot of obstacles, and Paulo Coelho, he has said in his interviews and written that in life, when you are trying to work on your dream, you have four main obstacles, and one of them is love. So this is where love comes across. So he has this girl Fatima, and he's really in love with this girl, but he does not want to leave her and go. What happens next is Santiago meets the alchemist, and the alchemist really helped him and accompanied him towards his goal. He accompanied him throughout the journey, but when he was almost near to his treasure that he will find in the pyramids of Egypt, is what the alchemist lets him do it by himself, because it's his goal, it's his personal legend. The book speaks about personal legend, and I really like a lot. That's what I really liked about the book, how it focuses on personal legend. So, but what happens next is when he reaches Egypt, he gets robbed by some robbers and some people, and when he was being robbed, he couldn't find any treasure. When he was being robbed, he said to the men that I had a dream that I could find treasure in Egypt. So the men laughed at him, and one of them told the boy that I also had a dream that I saw there is treasure under a sycamore tree, which is somewhere in Andalusia. So this is how the story ends. So the boy finally knows that the treasure is not in Egypt, but rather it's back in his home. And how it ends with the line, I'm coming back, Fatima. So speaking about the likes and the dislikes, let me share the presentation. I really like the story is very captivating. It inspires, and I really like how it speaks about dream, because I'm usually the kind of person looking for, inspiration to follow your heart, to listen to your heart, and that's all that I like. And the concept about when you want something, the entire universe conspires to help you in achieving that. So, yes, the book really gives you courage and it really enlightens you. And what I did, what I had the impact on me was it really made me understand that people who actually love you are willing to support you, are willing to be there with you in whatever decision you make. Because there have been times where I had people who I love the most beside me, but they were not happy with my decision. I think Mrudula already had, we had a similar concept, we had a similar, about people who love you will support you in whatever way and whatever you feel right. So, yes, I felt like the book really, the way that the boy meets Fatima and then he tells her that I will be back because he's about to continue, but then Fatima says this very beautiful line that one is loved because he's loved. No reason is needed. And I really like that. And I feel like, yes, it really helped me understand that you have to go with your decision. And if you're worried about people going to leave you or it's going to hurt someone else because of your decision, then no, you have to think about yourself. If someone really love you, then they trust you and believe in you, and they are ready to be through be through the entire journey with you. So that's what I liked about this the most about this book. There are also different things that I liked about the personal legend and the universal language. I love how everything is about the soul and the universe and how it just creates a different aura when you're reading the book. You're very captivated by the book. As I told before, I'm not a very efficient reader, but I feel like this book really had me hooked up to it. And what I didn't like about this was that the ending was incomplete. Like it left me wondering about, just a second. Yeah. In the ending, the boy is in Egypt, but his treasure is in Andalusia, that is in Spain. And that's it. That's how it ended. It just ended like that. So I don't know whether the boy actually got his treasure because he did not have the treasure in his hands. He's still in Egypt and the treasure is in Andalusia. So I felt like his journey was still incomplete because he has to go back to Fatima, and what happens? How does he travel back to Spain? So it left me wondering. I really wanted to know because he got to know where his treasure is, but he still did not receive, he did not actually get his treasure. So that's what I didn't like about this book. But it was a very, very interesting book to read. I think it's very easy to understand, and I feel anyone can read it. And I feel like, yeah, the fiction genre it was really nice. This book was really nice by Paulo Coelho. And yeah, that's all I would like to say. I don't think I have anything else to elaborate on.
It was, so hi Saida, it was interesting to kind of hear your take on Coelho. Look, all of us know that he is anyways famous, right? And all his
Yeah,
work
yeah, 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 yeah.
well recognized and all that.
Yes, yes, yes.
So it's good. So did you pick up the author and then the book, or did you hear the reviews about the book and said, no, okay, he's
No, no, actually, I heard about the author and I heard about his books. I actually started to read Veronica Decides to Die. That was,
mhm.
but then my father gave me this book and he said that I think this is suitable for you. You should go ahead with it. So,
Hey, I mean, that was a very thoughtful gift from your father.
yeah,
Very nice. Okay, so presentation was good. I mean, your flow was excellent. Like you did not waver anywhere, you did not shake. You were just kind of going in a continuous flow. So that was really very good.
thank you, ma'am.
But felt what I felt was more than the presentation. It was like storytelling session.
Okay,
It wasn't like a review or a like you were talking about the summary highlights, likes, dislikes, impact of the book.
yes,
It was
yes,
more of like a speech. It was like your personal take on the book. Overall,
okay,
it felt like that to me. I'm not saying it's bad. Please don't take it to be wrong.
No, no,
Yeah.
don't
What I'm
worry
saying
about
is, when you're presenting something, you have to be on the neutral side. You have, because this is not your personal story, correct?
it.
So
Yes,
you
yes.
have to kind of talk it in a way like, what is the positive things that you learned from the book? What are the negative things from the book? Where you could relate, where you could not relate. Yes, you covered all that, but not so much. And then you dwelt too much on the story.
Okay.
First, the first secret of a book review is never to tell the story to the readers. Say, for
Okay.
example, I didn't read the book. Now you told me the
Okay.
entire story. Why would I go and read the book?
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Right? But you kind of told the entire story. What happens? He meets a girl and he falls in love, and what happens in the end, and everything. So you should never give away those kind of details.
Okay.
And yeah. Okay. Yeah. And so I think that was what you have to kind of learn to kind of control yourself, contain
Okay.
yourself, and talk in a very calculated manner. Like, this is what I have to
Okay.
tell. This much only I'm going to give it to the audience, or to the people who are listening to me,
Okay,
right?
ma'am.
So that way. But yes, nevertheless, it was interesting to know your take. Young girls, I
Thank
mean,
you.
yeah, at this age, you all sound so matured, and you're kind of trying to understand the meaning of life and not getting, wavered into some kind of nonsense thing. So that was excellent. Yeah, excellent choice of book.
Thank
Uh,
you, ma'am.
I think that not only shows your nature or character or attitude of this generation, but also the college was kind of guiding
Okay.
you and helping you to kind of pick the proper stuff. So
Yeah.
excellent. All the best, Saida. But just do remember,
Thank you,
don't
ma'am.
give away too much. Okay, that's
Okay,
something
ma'am.
that you have to remember. Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for, guiding me.
All the best, sir. Murugaran, sir. Over to you.
Saeed Aisha, good.
Yes, sir.
Well, you come very well prepared and you used all your resources. That is, if you are given a presentation, you got it. You got it well. And then the way I actually, as I told from Mridula also, I am weighing all the things, your expression, the way you review and all that. And your choice of book again, this Alchemist I have already read, of course, before so many years, and I was able to recall certain things, and thank you for that. And the choice I am really very, it's a pleasant surprise. All you are very young teens, you people are, and you people are choosing very serious, very heavy subjects. One thing I must uh, I am telling this to all the three of you, if you all the three of you are listening, as Lavanya correctly put it, many writers or filmmakers expect only a reviewer to give anything. You can criticize or you can appreciate. That is, as you put it, likes and dislike, that you can do. But you must not, as Lavanya put it, leave the audience or the fans or the readers to if you tell everything, if you give them everything, they may not be inclined to go further and read the book or see the film and all that. It's there. So choice of the book, I was very impressed, and the way you reviewed it.
Thank you.
And what I liked in your thing is that in your presentation particularly, you had something to tell about the author. That is very good because people may not be familiar with the author, and you were able to tell something outside Alchemist about an interview he has given and all that. And you were wondering what happened. As I told the Alakya also, that the end need not be in the hands
What?
of the
Yes.
author,
Okay.
because my life, actually, after COVID-19, everybody's life is so unpredictable. Very life itself is unpredictable. So author is telling,
Yeah.
you predict it, you guess it, and all that. And then when you are reading like somebody like Paulo Coelho, some certain things may be of metaphors. The treasure itself is a metaphor. The entire
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
may be about the quest.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so these things can be there. So, of course, I appreciate that you are able to read such a heavy book, and I appreciate your father for treating you like a friend and giving you a very heavy book. Very good.
Yeah,
Your review
my
and your
father actually
expression.
wanted me to take up literature and he wanted me to do thesis in Urdu. He is very
Gee,
fluent in Farsi, Urdu, Arabic, Hindi,
then why you
Sanskrit.
didn't do that?
So, because of my personal legend.
Oh, it's okay, it's okay. Your choice was not that. Anyway, no,
Yeah,
no.
yeah,
Actually, I'll tell you one thing. On the other side, many people, many writers are not students of literature, or not many students of literature were later on. They didn't become writers or anything like that. Many people became IAS officers. Okay, anyway, let us coming back to the review part of it. You are done well, and as Lavanya correctly put it, what we can always, particularly when you touch someone like Palakoilo, we may have to divide it between two. What he intended to say, at least from your point of view, and then the story, because particularly like Palacoelho, these people, they have got so much in between the lines, or there is something left unsaid, something for you to understand from this. It's
yes,
not just the story. Even he's not just ending up with the storytelling. There is something more he has left for you to understand and all that. I'm very nice seeing, and seeing you all three of you giving reviews, and you have done a very good the depth of your reading was visible. Quite happy. Nice.
thank
This
you,
is
sir.
from my side. Over to you,
Thank
Lavanya. Thank you.
Yeah. I think, sir, we have to take another session on metaphors and similes and how do you kind of put all this into creative writing. Whereas the girls are too young to understand the metaphors. So maybe we can
Oh,
try. I'm just
no,
guessing.
another session is different session only, not this one.
Not this one. That's why I said
Okay, okay.
it will require another one full
Yeah, yeah, no, no.
session.
Just I
Kind
touched
of.
upon, because these
Yeah.
girls are reading so heavy books,
Yes.
So just I
Agree.
touched upon.
Yeah, yeah. Totally agree with you. Yes.
Ma'am, Sunita ma'am, would you like to say something? Sunita ma'am?
I think it has been said, they correctly pointed out. Saida Aisha, we're so glad to see that there are enthusiastic readers, and Sir and Lavanya have correctly said that, given you pointers on a review. Yeah, it should be like critical appreciation. So, I mean, you correctly said I'm not an efficient reader. Now, I won't agree with the word efficient. You are a keen reader, can see, but you have to develop your critical faculties. So, when you're looking at the book, you'll be able,
Yeah,
you'll slowly develop as you're reading more. You'll get more mature in your reading and see the different elements and distinguish them, and you know and say okay. And I liked your dislike, you know because it also reminds many people who want that happily ever after ending, because they are graduating from fairy stories, short stories, like one girl had put it, from Enid Blyton's. She's gone to young adult fiction, right?
yeah,
So, yeah. So the Enid Blytons and children's stories have that happily ever after ending.
yeah,
And so now, as you're transitioning, uh, we will you will be having this open-ended kind of endings. So it's like opening out, explore, go, look out at the world and see what's happening next. So that's also exciting, right? Yeah.
yes, yes, yeah, ma'am.
So that's one way that modern endings are modern stories. And I don't know, Patsati sir, we have addressed a lot of students in our college, and many of them pick up Paulo Coelho. And in fact, I'm is many of them, because I think Paulo Coelho makes it appealing to youngsters, philosophy.
Yeah.
It's the
Yes.
every
Completely.
day. So thankfully, they're picking up some ideas and, things that maybe a serious class, makes young people, switch off. But because he's giving it in a digestible form, a story kind of a thing, so they're picking up these things and enjoying. You'll be surprised how many of them do pick up. Yeah, agreed, it's serious, but they enjoy the story part of it. I think that's what takes them along. Good job, Aisha. Keep reading.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Ruwaida, are you there? Ruwaida?
Hello? Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So, shall we end now with
Yes,
vote
ma'am.
of
That's
thanks?
all with the participants. We'll go
Okay.
ahead with vote of thanks.
Okay. A very good evening to everyone present here. I've read somewhere that a good speaker has been said to be someone who can say something while she is thinking of something to say. I, on behalf of the Department of English, St. Anne's College for Women, extend a very hearty thanks to Team HYDRA, especially Mr. Mehboob Hussain, founder, HYDRA and consultant, Mr. Muralidharan Pardasarthi sir, Ms. Lavanya, who evaluated the presentations, Mr. Swapnil, and all the participants for speaking about their favorite books. We enjoyed all the presentations. Please keep up the good work. I would like to specially thank Ms. Ruwaida from BA second year, St. Anne's College for Women, for her effort toward conducting this activity. This is the first literary activity of the year, and we have many activities coming up. Please register as and when we announce. I would also like to thank Shravya and Aishwarya, who are not participants but who have logged in. And thank you all. Thank you, sir, Muralidharan sir, and Lavanya.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
Kapil,
you.
sir.
Thank you a lot.
Thank you, Ruwaida. Smita
We
ma'am?
enjoyed this session. We were happy to kind of see such mature girls and thinkers and readers. Really, very proud to be here. I think Muralidharan sir is agreeing to what I said.
Very happy to see the kids reading such things, and they are able to internalize it and review also.
Exactly.
Very happy to see all that. I appreciate it very much. Very happy.
Ma'am, Smita ma'am, would you like to say something?
Already put it on the chat, Kanaka.
Yes, ma'am.
Great
Yes,
session.
ma'am.
Such good inputs. Thank you, Lavanya and Patsati, sir. That was really useful. Hope the girls take their journey onwards. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Ruwaida,
Thank you,
shall we-
everyone.
Thank you. Shall we close? Yes. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
All the best to the kids. Okay. Thank you.
Sir. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. All
Thank
the
you,
best.
Lavanya ma'am. Thank you.
Thanks, Kanta ma'am. Bye. Bye, everyone. See you
Good evening.
again.
Bye.
Yeah,
Yes,
bye.
ma'am.
Bye.
Bye.